All right, guys. So in this episode of Cuckoo for Cocoa Puff World, up is down, down is up. Right? Don't know what the hell is going on. Once again, we got to talk about this drama going on in the House, in Congress, as Kevin McCarthy, as the making of this video, has failed 6 times to secure the vote that he needs to be Speaker of the House. Now, what is happening here, guys, is that you have the whole mainstream establishment media now coming after the Freedom Caucus for holding up Congress, right? It's only been like 3 days, okay? And it's just funny to me how they do this because these Congress people are always taking days off. They only work like half a year, right? So I don't think it will be hard for them to make up 3 or 4 or 5 days of work if this continues to drag out, but they're trying to act like this is the worst thing in the world. Again, these people take more days off than anybody else in this country, and they're acting like 3 days of trying to decide who is going to lead this country, okay, in the House of Representatives is so difficult, right? So tough. And it's just so funny because, you know, when you get into these types of conversations and these issues, you start to see the matrix break, right? The matrix is breaking. As you have Whoopi Goldberg on The View, who offered Kevin McCarthy some pretty solid advice about him not getting the votes that he needs. Take a look.
The people will tell you if you're going to get the job. It doesn't matter how much you want, how much you demand, what you promise. You cannot buy this seat, and this is what they're trying to tell you, do. Back up and let somebody who can get in there and do the people's business.
But it's also...
Yeah, I agree with Whoopi, right? Now, what she may mean when she's saying that is that, you know, maybe, you know, let a Democrat get in there. I don't agree with that. But if what she means is that let somebody that is a Republican get in there that everybody in the Republican Party can rally around, I 100% agree with her, okay? Kevin McCarthy is not entitled to this seat. I don't know why people you know, acting like this guy just deserves it, okay? He thinks he deserves it. He moved in Nancy Pelosi's office. Just because he raises money, that doesn't make him a great leader. That's the number one thing wrong with the Republican Party is that these people are more focused on making money, right, and campaign donations and funding than they are actually, you know, pushing a policy agenda. This is why the leaders of the Republican Party, literally Mitch McConnell, Ron McDaniel, Kevin McCarthy, they're only there because they can raise money. That's it, right? That's it. They're only there because they can raise money. And the people have spoken. It's not just the 20 House Freedom Caucus members. It's also the American people, the base of the Republican Party. I guarantee you, if we had a democratically held vote, right, of people for Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy would not win, right? He wouldn't win. The people don't want him to be Speaker. So again, it's not just the 20 House Freedom Caucus members. No, it's also the Republican Party base as well, too. It's the people. And we the people say, hey, you know, I don't think we like this guy that much. Let's get somebody else in there. Obviously, we don't want a Democrat, but still, you got to be willing to sacrifice it. You got to be willing to risk it all, to go all the way to get what you want. If you're not willing to go all the way, then you're going to repeat the same cycle of, you know, electing these people and then failing and then, you know, come back and repeat again. And we can't continue to do that. And the leverage is there and they're using it. However, you have the legacy establishment media, like, for example, Fox News, that is all on board with the establishment Republicans. You know, they're basically becoming an anti-Trump network now as well, too. You got Sean Hannity making less sense than Whoopi Goldberg, right, on this issue as he basically berates Lauren Boebert for refusing to fall in line with Kevin McCarthy. Take a look.
Now tonight for the Hannity hot seat, and tonight we're joined by a Republican who opposed Kevin McCarthy's bid for Speaker on every single ballot. That is Colorado Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, and she says negotiations with McCarthy have been ongoing since the summer, but that her demands are not being taken seriously. Now, meanwhile, Kevin McCarthy's camp is now reportedly trying to determine which of the 20 votes against him are because of a policy disagreement versus a personal vendetta. Here now with reaction is Congresswoman Boebert. Now, Congresswoman, let me Town Hall quoted you today saying the president, you said complimentary things about President Trump, needs to tell Kevin McCarthy that, sir, you do not have the votes. It's time to withdraw. Let me turn the tables, Congresswoman. Kevin McCarthy has 203 votes. Your side has 20. So if I'm going to use your words and your methodology and your math, isn't it time for you to pack it in and your side to pack it in, considering he has over 200 and you have 20?
Sean, I understand the frustration. I promise you, but
I'm not frustrated. You didn't answer my question.
And we are hearing. from many people who are still voting with Kevin McCarthy. You're not answering my question. Of what we're doing, and they're cheering us on. So there are more for us than are against us, and they are waiting for Kevin to cave.
Okay.
The American people are certainly frustrated by.
I'm frustrated by you not answering a direct question. You said to President Trump, you said earlier today that President Trump needs to tell Kevin McCarthy, you don't have the votes.
We need to come up with a consensus candidate to elect a Speaker of the House.
You don't have the votes, and it's time to withdraw. He has 203. Your side has 20. Why is it time for him to withdraw and not you when he has so many more votes?
Well, Sean, he needs 218, and he does not have 218. We've been trying to work this out in private, as you said, for months. But Kevin McCarthy didn't even want to listen to us until his disappointing midterms. We all want a unified party, but this isn't chaos. It's a functioning constitutional republic. When everything is said and done,
I like the cliche.
House Republicans will be stronger and better prepared to lead than we ever have before. I believe that this is what our founding fathers intended, and this is showing
yesterday
that our votes are working. Our votes aren't just a cast.
Congresswoman, I'd ask you not to filibuster. Yesterday you voted, and Jim Jordan was your choice. Today it was Byron Donalds who was your choice. Tomorrow, I don't know who you're going to vote for. But the bottom line is you still only have 20 votes. Let me ask you this. Kevin McCarthy...
I think we're proving that we're open to a menu of options. Many different people.
You're proving that 20 people don't want Kevin McCarthy at this time. But my question to you is this.
We are proving that there are many options.
My question to you is, did you support Kevin McCarthy's commitments to America? And do you not believe that he's going to follow through on his written promises?
His commitment to America is not as strong as I would like it to be. And we have been working on the rules to change the structure of how Washington, D.C. is run and operated. Sean, you know more than anybody how broken this town is. This is something that we have an opportunity to rebuild, to restructure.
Congresswoman,
and it takes the right tools and the right leadership to do that.
Border security, energy independence, debt reduction,
and when we asked him to put forward the Texas-built border plan, he refused.
And then, well, he's willing to bring back the exact plan that worked under Donald Trump. And then he also has pledged investigations into the FBI and DOJ, the influence peddling of the Biden family, the origins of COVID and Anthony Fauci, the withdrawal from Afghanistan.
My question is, right speaker.
Do you support?
And it's not going to be Kevin McCarthy.
Do you support all of those agenda items he promised?
Of course I do, but I do not trust Kevin McCarthy at this point to deliver on those promises, especially when I go into good faith negotiations with him, and then he comes out and lies about what those conversations were, saying that members demanded
that's your characterization. He's not here to answer.
We want...
So let me ask you this.
He's already apologized to one member in private because he won't apologize to him in public for spreading lies about that meeting.
Here's my question. So you and others fought hard for a motion to vacate, with only 5 Republicans able to trigger that motion. Kevin McCarthy didn't want to give it to you, but he did give it to you in the end. To me, that's kind of an insurance policy. Can I finish?
But he didn't all the way. He did not.
Wait a minute.
Sure.
He gave you what you asked for. And one of the things that I've been asking people, I'm asking you tonight, who is your final choice for Speaker? And if you can't get more than, let's say, 30 votes, will you follow your own advice that you were asking Donald Trump and withdraw?
There are certainly names that are being floated around. And, hey, maybe I should nominate President Donald J. Trump tomorrow. But, Sean, I did watch your show last night.
Is this a game show? Like we're going to pick
on this motion.
We're going to pick Jim Jordan one day, Donald's the other day, Trump the next day?
This motion to vacate, because he did not give us this motion to vacate. I'm showing there's a whole consensus of other candidates that could be nominated.
I'm trying to understand how you're thinking
this motion
here.
to vacate, Sean, you need to understand that Kevin McCarthy did not give us my hard red line.
He fought for it.
And this is a century-old, no, he did not.
No, I know that he made the promise.
That was written by Thomas Jefferson.
I know he made the promise
since
because
1837 with 5 members, Sean, with 5 members, not one member to offer the motion to vacate.
So my question is this:
Nancy Pelosi's
you haven't answered my question. So if you have.
You cannot demand more responsibility.
Yesterday you supported Jordan. Today you're supporting
Sean.
Donald.
That's not the way this works. We need a check and a balance on the third in line.
Who is your fight? Let's have a final answer. Who do you want to be Speaker of the House?
For the conference to decide. We need to come together.
Who do you want? I'm asking who you want.
What does it look like? Life after Kevin. We need to find somebody who can actually unify the Republican Party.
Yeah, that was crazy, right? Sean Hannity really did just confirm how much of a shield he is for the establishment in that interview, because what Sean Hannity should have been, asking is, what has Kevin McCarthy actually done to earn being Speaker? Why is it that he's just by default supposed to be the Speaker? Why isn't that you can't challenge him and say, hey, we've lost the last 2 or 3 or 4 elections, right? You've been leader. Why should you still remain leader when our policy agenda is not being passed because we can't win elections, and you're in charge of raising all this money and, giving out all this money to these candidates to strategically win? And again, you fell short. Your leadership, your policy agenda has not inspired people to come out and vote Republican. Why should you still be leader? That's the real question that Sean Hannity should be asking. Why in the world are all these people getting behind a loser? Right? Why are you getting behind a loser? Why do you keep getting behind McConnell and Kevin McCarthy? That's the real question. But we already know the answer to that question is all about money. The only reason these guys are in leadership is literally because they can raise money. Right? And a lot of these people don't really want them to be leaders. They know that they're not good leaders, but they're afraid that if they oppose the McCarthys or the McConnells, that they're going to withhold funding for them in their race. Because again, these so-called leaders in the Republican Party, they're not out here trying to give money to actual conservatives to push a policy agenda. They're giving money to people who are more loyal to them, to the McCarthys, the McConnells, than the American people. Right? That's what's happening. So again, a lot of these people are just going to fall in line. Even though they know that Kevin McCarthy shouldn't be leader, they're going to fall in line anyways because, again, the money. Well, he might not fund my race. Okay, well, if Kevin McCarthy funding your race is the reason why, or you need that to stay elected, then you should resign. Because your policy agenda, your leadership should be strong enough to win a race without Kevin McCarthy having to fund the race. Or you should better raise enough money on your own, right, to be able to fund your race. You shouldn't be voting for people based off whether or not they're going to give you money so you can win your race. You should be voting for people based off whether or not they present a coherent and good policy agenda for this country. Kevin McCarthy has not. His commitment for America is totally irrelevant. He hasn't even talked about it ever since the midterms were over. I have no faith in this guy that he's going to execute on any of the things that he says. He can say whatever he wants, but we've seen that Kevin McCarthy really will say whatever he wants to get ahead, right? He say whatever he needs to say. And guys like that are not people that you can trust. You can't trust them in positions of leadership. I don't understand why in the world he can't just raise money on the side, right? And just play his part and let somebody else take over as the, spiritual leader or the House Speaker. The person that, puts things in motion, that puts the policy agenda in motion. There has to be somebody, some Republican that's a policy wonk, that's a good leader, right? It can't just be him. Let somebody else, do that, and then you let Kevin McCarthy raise his money since that's so important to everybody. If Kevin McCarthy was a team player, that's what he would do. It says more about Kevin McCarthy that he won't step down than it does about the Freedom Caucus members who won't vote for him because he hasn't earned it. He's a loser. So they don't have to ever vote for him. Why should they ever have to vote for him? They don't have to. He's a loser. Says more about him that he won't step down and say, you know, I just don't got the votes. Says more about him than it does about these other people. But you wouldn't think that listening to the establishment media, again, including Fox News, right? Or particularly Sean Hannity, right? Not everybody on Fox News is on this, but particularly Sean Hannity. I mean, you even got MSNBC asking Lauren Boebert, why can't you be more like Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? Because Marjorie Taylor Greene decided to get behind Kevin McCarthy because, you know, Kevin McCarthy basically promised her that she's going to get her committee assignments back and that she's going to have a much greater role. Which, again, if I was Marjorie Taylor Greene, I wouldn't believe any of that, right? I wouldn't believe it, but hey, she does. Again, this is interesting. We're going to see how long they hold out. But considering, again, how much time these people take off from work every single year, I don't think a few days is going to kill anybody to actually really get this sorted out. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.